Oh no, it's too big. Go display capture. Go. Get larger. Oh, it's okay. Well, now it's doing a freaking window and window thing. So thanks, I guess. Probably a Windows 10 compatibility thing, isn't it? Game capture. Turn off. Turn off. Oop. Window frame. Whoops. Too close. Shit. Shit, how do you get them back again? All right, hold that. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Where did it go? Why is it all the way over there and tiny again? Oh, whatever. All right. Oh, so much shit. Swear to God. There's one more game. Can't go windowed. What a pain in the ass. Oh boy, I'm sure that's great. Oh, good lord. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, this is so impossibly stupid. Wow. Oh. Oh, is that not even gonna display? Come on. Oh, window capture. All right. Well, here's some shit garbage. Oh dear.
Quack.
I love bad fan games. Especially bad fan games made in Quick Team software. That's entirely my shit. Oh, have some dignity. Don't use that shader. Alright, alright. Oh, Lord. I have no clue how much longer I'll be. Like, I'll probably be off and on all day, because I gotta stay up all day today. Not good. What the fuck? What was that? Did you see that? Why do I have to? Because I have to be on the schedule to be up tonight. And there's no way I'm sleeping today, because there's construction shit that's gonna happen soon. fucking god, man. Can I like... This is questionable but fucking godly. You know what the biggest issue is? The biggest issue is its frame rate, and I think I can fix that. Give me a minute. I think I can anyways. We'll figure it out. Oh, I don't add anybody on Twitch. I don't use Twitch for Twitch. I just use it because it streams garbage. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, no luck. Oh, well, not a big deal. I was gonna decompile the thing and then recompile it in the current version of QuickTeam Fusion using the new graphic engine, but that's a no-go. Okay, something here running on the Dark Places engine. Oh, okay, great. That doesn't work in options. What's the point? Alright, how about this? That's cool. Dark space. Okay. Oh, so I'm just this one. The other thing's just following me. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. So it's like zero wing. Okay. What is this? Whoa. Okay, I see. I like the look of this. Oh, does it not have any music? Oh well. I'll cope. Okay, so that one makes it bigger. What does this one do? Ooh, cool. I want to try two of those. Peace. Take it easy. I really like, yeah, I really like the idea here. How it's like you get different parts and it like evolves you, so to speak. It reminds me of there's an unreleased game by Jalico called, oh my god, what is it called? Chimera Beast. It has a similar mechanic, only like far more insane and stupid. And I was working on something like that for a previous game project that never really went anywhere as well. Oh, I don't like this guy. Oh no. This is really cute. Oh, what please, no more of this full screen with no other options shit. Please. Demonizer demo. That sounds promising. They're like, does this also only have? Oh, come on, man. Oh, Fire Lancer, dope. Hell yeah, I'll play Fire Lancer. Setting full screen. Okay, come on, man. This is cheesing me off. Okay, full screen 0. But why? Why? I just want not full screen. Why is it so difficult? Let me get the most recent compiled demo. Oh, no, don't worry. I'm saying Jesus. It just sounds like Jesus. Okay, get the newest version out here. This thing really don't have a fucking. Why is it so hard to include windowed modes in your games? Why is it so difficult? Really shouldn't be. Really absolutely should not be. That should be like the prerequisite that it has a windowed mode. One step from Eden. I've been itching to play this. Am I on the most recent version? I am not. Feel free to stream, record. Okay, cool. Six, 7. Dope. Been itching to try this. Okay. Cool. Nice. This is everything I wanted Rockman EXE to actually be. Oh, yeah. It's really good. Hit me with that shit. That new TLD, too much. It's good integration with all this stuff here. That's good. Good for them. That game is freaking sick nasty. Prism Rush. What the fuck is Prism Rush? Looks good so far. What's that? After cursor. It's got a hell of a cursor, all right. What is this? Okay, what? Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on a second. What the fuck just happened? What the fuck was that? Okay, yeah, let's try that again. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck? Was that it? By the way, my stream is capturing at 60 frames per second. It's actually like running like this. I have no clue what this is. It's Prism Rush, I guess. Oh, fuck. Oh man. Well, that's a good game. That's a winner. There was no audio, by the way. There was nothing. At some point, I gotta bring in my 360. I wouldn't be able to capture HDMI, but I can capture like S video, which is fine. I have this amazing indie game on there called Block Fight, where it's just two squares moving around the screen, and when they touch each other, a number goes up, and like that's the whole game. That's the whole game. It's so good. It's not even 3D squares. It's just 2D squares moving around the screen, and like you control one with the left stick, and it can only move on one axis, and one with the right stick, and it only moves on the other axis. It's incredible. I have so many. We should do that at some point. I should bring in my 360, because I have like so many fucking indie games on there. Right before the indie game service like went down, I downloaded as many demos of like all the interesting looking ones as I could, just for safekeeping. And yeah, there's some fucking incredible garbage on there. I didn't download all this like shitty like Avatar games or whatever, but all the interesting ones, and there's a lot. This. Okay, what is this? Oh. Spinny ships. Please, how to play. I can't even control the fucking menu. That's how it, wait, is this? I can't even control the menu. That's how advanced this game is. Let me try restarting it. Okay, input. Okay, yeah, looks okay. I mean, like... I don't know what it wants out of me here. I've pushed all the buttons. Yeah, I've definitely pushed all the buttons. Let me see if it's like... No, it's not OBS causing issues. I think this is just the whole game. I think this is just it. I choose to believe that this has to just be it. Right? I'm choosing to believe that's it. That's all there is to it. Wait, let me try one more thing. Let me try unplugging my controller. This is its last chance. Nope. It didn't help it one bit. Oh, that was great. Time for whatever the fuck this is. Shooting Star 7. Sick. Sick fucking MIDI. I'm into it. Interesting. Holy fuck. Whoa. Holy shit. Holy shit. These weapons are comically overpowered, but in a fun way. What's that? Oh, this... Okay, wait, that's not complicated at all. I've been on the time. What the fuck is this? Fuck it. Throw a fucking mortar at the guy or something. Oh. That bomb is way too funny. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, maybe. Oh shit, this is different. Okay, turn. Well, we'll find out what the bomb is soon enough. look at this. Look at this. These fucking doors to nowhere just launching missiles. That's amazing. Are you fucking kidding me? I like the door missiles a lot more than this weapon. This weapon kind of sucks. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Nice. What the fuck is this? Holy Christ. This is delightful. Good, it's stupid. I like that. That was Shooting Star 7. Oh, this looks Petroid. Wait. I don't like what I've done. I see. I see. I see. I think my favorite part is all the sound effects being like MIDI. That's really funny. I've never heard anything like that. Oh. 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 Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck. Oh, what is this shit? Hold on. Okay, so we need that one and this one. Yeah. Fuck out of here. How much of the game is remade like this? That's my burning question. Because okay, I've played enough of the first Metroid to make this end pretty quick, so we can find out. Oh Jesus Christ! I see you. I see you. Oh no, the map is wildly different suddenly. Oh my god, get the fuck out of the way, dude. Okay. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh no, I'm fucked. Well, down is where you would usually go. No, I have fucked up. God damn it. Uh-huh. Eh. Nope. Eh. Get out of the way, dude. Fuck is this room? Hmm. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Oh, well, that's forgiving. Let's go this way. Hey, dude. Alright. Holy fuck. Oh. Fuck. Okay, that's really cool. That's cute. I especially like that the application stops responding when it plays back that audio file. That's a feature and a half. That's Metroid 2008. It looks like it's running on its own engine and everything too. That's impressive. Oh, good. I'm glad people are still getting their CDs. Oh, man. That one works. Can't play it though. What is here? Finally got into the block where I straight up just can't play these on Twitch. I was gonna say, is there a Twitch for H games? But it's Picardo pretty much, isn't it? That's like the only option. I can't even be fucking bothered. Especially because I can't get Picardo to take this fucking enormous bit rate I throw at it. Just shits the bed. Otherwise I would. Shh. Okay. This game requires... Huh, okay. Archives, ROMs. Interesting. Very interesting. So this is weird. This required like a Sonic 3 and Knuckles ROM, which is amazing. So I guess it doesn't contain any infringing content. It just gets it all from the ROM. That's amazing. There's options for days. Wow, okay. Okay. That's a good emulation. Oh my god. Alright. Look at that read me. Manual. It's a fucking PDF. Okay. Holy God. Okay. Yep, they're still shit. Still shit. Let me out. Let me out. Thank you. It's all kind of like slowly clicking that I'm not just playing a ROM. That this is like its own engine using the ROM's, you know, resources. It's like slowly clicking into place. No. Fuck. No. It's actually a hazard now. That's never happened. Oh. Alright. Despite everything, it's still Sonic. This is mind-boggling. Fucking mind-boggling. Nice. I mean, it's possible to corrupt anything, but I mean, I'm not gonna. Nice. Oh, okay. Man, this is crazy. This is messing with me to an intense degree. I cannot believe I'm not just playing like a ROM. How much of the game? God, data. That's crazy impressive. Crazy. Absolutely fucking nuts. Give me 1 minute. Just gotta hook up my other hard drive. just about done with my snack here. But just wanted to drop in with some words from the good book. I mean, what is a morning without a verse from the good book, right? Your mouth is amazing, my lord. Oh, it's so warm and slick. Thus spoke. Well, I guess not the Lord in this case. Words from the good book. It's religious materials. Yeah, religious materials. It says Lord right in it. Here's another verse. It's so deep inside, my lord, I can't hold it. See? It's religious. The thing that's so deep inside is the godliness. You need to be full of your faith. I got nothing. Again, with the holy wording. Oh gods, I'm getting dizzy. I've never been so full of faith. That is. Oh no, it's entirely weirdly sexual. It's from a furry porn comic. It's about the. I'm glad the mouth feels a meme. uh, is the mouth feel the ultimate leftist meme? Is that is that what that is? I don't know if you can get a more leftist meme than mouthfeel. I think that's just about as far as you can go, really. Look, I don't see no weird right wingers talking about the mouthfeel, and good. No, ContraPoints is really good. She's fantastic. I'm really excited for I think it's debuting this Friday. I don't know if you also follow Philosophy Tube. That guy's like an absolute legend. He's so wonderful. Um he's putting up an episode on sex work this Friday, which I'm very excited to see because people do not talk about that. People do not talk about that. And they should be. Yeah, check out his stuff. Um his YouTube is phenomenal if you haven't seen it. he has a couple really, really good videos in particular on the topic of self, and branding, so to speak, and who you are when you have a fan base, and what who is ultimately reaping the advantages of that kind of situation. It's a really, really good freaking video. Something I think about a lot. Oh yeah, the cosmonaut one. The mental health one, right? That's an incredible. Like, I'm so glad that exists. It's probably, I'm gonna say it's one of the most important videos on YouTube. Like, it's really powerful. I've been there. And the way he describes it is just like, yeah, it's dead on. I mean, he knows it. I feel like the way he talks about it, it's one of those feelings where even if you've never seen it the way he does, the second he starts talking about it, you're like, yeah, 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 that's the feeling, and it's really powerful. It's good. And the way he talks about it, it really is. I don't say. It's clear that he's very aware of his like physical self when these kinds of feelings and thoughts are happening, and that's something I learned to do as well through like therapy over the past few years. Um like 2.5, 3 years ago, when I started having like crazy acute panic attacks and anxiety attacks, like to the point where I was going to the ER because I thought they were heart attacks, right? um I worked out this thing, like, eventually, where it's like the first thing before you start thinking the bad thoughts, like, consciously. First, they have to happen subconsciously, but between them happening subconsciously and then becoming conscious, there's always this middle state where you're physically aware that those thoughts are happening, and that's when you have to catch it. And that's when you can start turning it around, like, before it starts becoming totally invasive. Like, I get aware of these, like, tingles down my neck, or like this burning feeling at the top of my head, these weird anxious feelings. And being aware of those feelings, before it totally takes you over, is a really quick way to turn it around. Because as soon as you feel those, you just know, do literally anything else. Just anything else. Stand up, go for a walk, get a drink, do anything else. My therapist equated it to those being like, when that happens, it's like the train's always on schedule, so to speak. So when that's happening, the train's going to leave shortly. So your goal is to catch the train, because when you catch the train, you're relaxed, you're fine. It's like, cool, I made it, I'm here on time. But if you don't catch the train, what in real life, when I don't catch this train, I get fucking fed up and I freak out, and I'm like, god damn it, what am I going to do now? Even though the next train is going to come real soon, right? So it's, you either catch the train of that current physical ugliness that's happening, or you realize, okay, it's okay to chill out because next time I can catch it no problem. You know, things are going to be a little off, but it's not the end of things because another train is going to come and it's going to be better next time. So I just try to keep this train idea in mind, and it really helps. That and cognitive behavioral therapy, which really does help. Yeah, it's really being aware of your subconscious thoughts. I think if you're too aware of your subconscious, it's like that's just like a pain in the ass. The goal is to know when your subconscious starts getting like physical with you, starts like messing with you, because it's always going to do that before it like punches you in the back of the head. You know, it's always going to tease at you and be like, hey, here's some weird bad vibes, some ugly feelings. They always kind of creep in. What I did for a long time, like when I started to feel those feelings like come in, I wore like a bracelet, like a little candy bracelet, and I just like would snap it against my wrist as soon as I felt those feelings, and would like, you know, if I was alone or whatever, I would say to myself out loud, stop, and tell myself, don't worry about it. And like, it's no bullshit. The more you do that, like something like telling yourself, don't worry about it, stop, like when those start creeping in, and like that snap of the bracelet against my wrist, it's like that eventually what it does is it doesn't like that doesn't automatically change how you react to these things. What it does do is it creates like an opening. It creates an opportunity for you to rewire what happens then, because you're essentially like severing it, right? You're severing that route, that trace, and you can start a new one. So actively stopping yourself with something like that and giving yourself an opportunity to like pull out and be like, okay, different route. That kind of thing is like really big. Yeah, it really is all just like giving yourself more opportunities, you know? But I think there's a way for everybody to like work through that kind of stuff. It's hard, like it's hard as hell, but the way I see it these days for myself is like this sounds like gloomier than it really is, but like wait till I say the whole thing. It's like very rarely does a day come where I wake up and want to be alive. But but very rarely does a day end when I feel the same way. And I think that's, you know, some people have this thing where they look off like maybe someday things will be better, but I've kind of done this thing where I'm like, no, 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 by the end of the day it'll be better. Even if like right now I just literally don't even want to be here. Like by the end of the day it'll be better. And if it's not, we'll try again the next day. And the goal every day, even like there are days where I literally do nothing. Like I just sit and be a miserable sack of shit. But the way I see it, it's like I probably need to some days. Got to get it out somehow. But other days, it's like, yeah, sure, I wake up feeling like that. But if I can do something along the way to be like, hey, you know, today was worth it after all. Just like even the tiniest thing, that's what matters. and I get a lot of, I would say, a lot of joy from being able to, in some sense, even the tiniest sense, like bring that to other people. A huge part of how okay you are with being where you are is the world, like, immediately around you. And that means it sucks if you're living in a really like shitty environment, yeah. But there's always something you can do to make the world around you a little better, like the tiniest little things, like whether it be like organizing your desk or like make somebody smile, or just like putting something into the world, or enjoying something that exists in the world. Those little things, the more of that you can do, the better your environment is. Even if your environment is like otherwise really, difficult, or just outright shitty, you need to put that put what energy you can into making the environment a little nicer. It's hard, not easy. Lately, since I've been so like brain dead, like musically, it's been I've said it before, but half the reason I started these stream things was because I was like really hermiting up and becoming like afraid to talk to people again, which I haven't been that way in a few years. So I was like, no, 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 I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm gonna fucking just go out there and be as public as possible and do this stupid stream shit. And fuck the Patreon, everything's gonna be public. I don't care. And that was a good decision. But since I'm so brain dead musically right now, being able to do other things to make the world around me better, like share, like whether it be like resources or like archives of cool cultural things, or just like one-on-one sharing, like that kind of thing is like huge for me right now, because it's a reassurance that I'm doing some good for the world. And I try, it's one of the ways I try to make myself feel like I'm worth keeping around. And it works for me, even though some days I'm like, who the fuck's ever gonna play this step chart I just wrote for fucking, like, I don't know, Gobble another? Who's ever gonna play this except me? But it's okay, it's out there. you know? Yeah, I've made as much as possible, um, within reason. I don't want to make like all of my work resources completely public, but I make so much of them public because I don't know, like, yeah, sure, it's my work or whatever, but I also don't particularly care. And if I can do something to help people, because like, okay, the thing is, like, when somebody enjoys something you do, it becomes part of their culture, which is crazy to think about. But if you do something that somebody likes, that's part of their culture now. Um, so like, if people like the stuff I do, I want to give them the tools to use the culture, because people are not usually given the tools to use the culture that they have, you know, in the current environment. Like, we have to do a lot to kind of like extract the tools, but if we could just be given the tools to use the culture around us, that would be a lot better, I think. Because having to like pull the culture, you know, like exhume it from its fucking like tomb of shitty copyrights and I don't know, whatever. That kind of stuff's just a nightmare. So I just try to put everything out there, like, as much as possible. Like, what are people gonna do? Like, It doesn't matter really. I think visual artists could stand to do more of the same too. We're kind of getting there with the way some of their Patreons have like PSD, you know, uh uploads and stuff like that. But I think it would be cooler if if a lot of visual artists were like more down to earth about, tracing, referencing and stuff like that, because visual art culture, evolves the same way as anything else, and it needs that same freedom. Like, as long as somebody's not like just outright, because I think everybody knows the difference between like, if like say I'm selling a track and somebody else is selling a track, and they made a track out of the resources I like, gave out, it's obviously a different piece and people know that. It's not like they're stealing from me. They're creating something different. And people know when it's like somebody's like biting somebody for profit. Like, it's clear when that's happening. Like, it's so obvious when somebody's biting for gain. And most people that do like, want to like trace or reference other art and stuff, it's like they don't want to bite for gain. They want to like learn and use the things they like, and it's just that we see all we're exposed to is the people that do it for gain, because they're like, so constantly made an example of, and that, scares other, smaller artists and blah 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 blah. You get where I'm going with this. But yeah, I think all artists could do a little more to share and to help grow our culture, because I think our generation, or at least my generation, like, the 30 to 35 year, or 30 to 40-year-old, let's say, I think that current age block is like, what do I want to say? The first generation, since it's happened to be like super, super, like fully consciously aware of like what copyright has done to us. And I mean, what Disney has done to us. Let's be realistic here. It's Disney. What Disney has done to copyright, and like how that's hurting our culture. And I think it would be better if like we were just all able to, create the first open culture while still proving that we can like make a living doing it, because we can. Because we're still providing for each other when we create that open culture, So I don't know. Like, I don't even particularly like Creative Commons. I think it's like kind of a flawed system. Like I'm down with the original idea of copyright. The whole like, I love the whole you get 14 years of copyright, and then it's public domain. I love that. I think that's amazing. I think that's like perfect. Because 14 years, it's like, what happens in 14 years? Somebody grows up with what you do, and then by the time they're grown up, they can use it, and you've moved on to something else. So I think 14 years is a fantastic like period for copyright protection, and then boom, it goes to public domain. And I don't agree. Like, I think I'm always real hesitant to just like release everything as public domain, because that also means I relinquish all rights. Copyright is such a mess. Copyright is such a fucking mess. I tend to like maintain copyright of my works, but I'm never going to enforce it unless somebody's just like literally bootlegging the full work. Like, that's totally different. That's the only time I'll enforce it. That's the only reason I want the copyright. And even then, I don't mind a really good bootleg. Like, I have some bootleg records. I have, bootleg video game stuff. It's like, sometimes that's the only option. or somebody does something fantastic with it. But yeah, I don't know. I know open culture would be nice. I think what's really what's really been bumming me out lately is like what's really getting to me is like the all this content ID stuff. It's obviously like a plague. It's a friggin' plague. Like it's a plague on YouTube. It's a plague on SoundCloud. It's a plague on everything. Content ID is a nightmare. Like fully realized. Um, and it's made it like there was this amazing period in like the 90s, like 90s to 2000s, where it's like you could get away with fucking anything. You could sample anything. You could retool anything you want. It was cool to do it. Like big shots were doing it. Everybody did it. But Content ID has made it so scary to appropriate other work now, to like retool and interpret other work. And that's bumming me out a lot. It's a part. It is a part of why I've been doing it a little less. Well, I mean, like I don't do it at all anymore. I would have done it less anyways because I've kind of like grown out of the whole like direct sampling thing. Now it's more reinterpretations. But yeah, like there are definitely like kids out there, people who are my age, like people who are like 18, 19, and they just want to sample a track, put a sick beat on top, and be like, this is mine. This is my like this is my creative vision. It's like I heard this thing and it was like part of the vision, part of what I wanted, and I put this on top, and yeah, that's mine. And it's like, yes, it is. Yeah, it's absolutely yours. But it's very difficult to create something like that now and get it out there. Like sampling has all at once become like something everybody's okay with and everybody knows about, but also something nobody can do anymore. And it's really fucking weird. And it's really scary. And I mean, I've been hit by the copyright trolls before. Like I don't know if anybody knows that story or remembers that one particular story, but I've been hit by them and it sucks. It fucking sucks. Especially because they're all literally bottom feeding evil scum. They'll do anything they can to exert their control. No, the Truxton stuff? Pff, never. It's always been free, like simple as that. No, it was Raveopolis, the Mayhem track. The Jimmy the Caster sample at the start, we're gonna go back, way back. That sample, right? That got me in hot water. The guy's been dead for fucking ever, right? So it's like, first off, fuck you. If somebody's dead and you profit off of like rights ownership, like you're scum. You're fucking scum. Get out. Leave. I don't care if you're family, I don't care if you're friends, get out. Unless it's been explicitly stated that, I want these earnings to go to my family. Unless it's been explicitly stated, get the fuck out. But so this copyright troll company. So what a copyright troll is, right? Okay, so yeah, a copyright troll is basically a company that goes around and buys up rights, like all the cheap rights they can. Like so, like when somebody dies, they buy up all the rights from their estate and shit like that. And then they make their money filing claims. That's their business. All they do is file claims against people. So what happened is this company in the UK, Minder Music, who is like they're fucked, dude. They got the rights to this, Jimmy Castor Bunch record, probably his whole discography, and they were like, "Hey, we own that, so you have to pay us royalties." And I found out they hit a bunch of people at the same time for that same sample. There was some other guy sampled it. I saw him on Facebook, and he was like kind of bullied into doing a public apology about it and taking the track down. What I did, like, because I'm, I'm in Canada, they're in the UK. They have to hit me with Canadian laws, and I knew that I was protected under fair use. Even in the United States, I would have been protected under fair use, because it's a transformative work that takes that phrase, that takes that quote and puts it in a different context. This context being rave music and the history of rave music, rather than a story about this character in the song. So it's transformative. It's fair use. And it's not infringing on the rights or the, what do you want to say, the potential like sales of this other piece. So I knew I was protected under fair use. But they were like ready to go to bat. They were so ready to go to bat. And I knew that if they went to bat, they would win because they have the lawyers. So I talked them down to this really obscure fucking Canadian law called jukebox law, which is where you pay royalties based on like jukebox quote unquote sales or plays. So I got off with like settled out of court for very little money thanks to this obscure law. But along with that, and this is the bummer, they own the rights to my track now. Minder Music owns Raveopolis. Because I used a sample of this dead guy saying, "We're gonna go back, way back into time." So I lost the rights to my own piece of music because of that sample. If I ever have the spare cash, I'm taking them to court over it. And I'm gonna get my track back. Don't worry about breakbeats. Breakbeats are nobody gives a shit. Breakbeats are free reign. Fucking the one guy in the Winstons, they did Almond Brother. He was like trying to collect royalties for the break. By the way, he didn't perform the break. He was like the bassist in the band or some shit. The guy that performed the break, like he was at some point late in his life, shown like all this stuff that came from it, and he was like wowed by it. He was like, "That's crazy that one drum beat spawned all this stuff." He was like wowed by it. But as soon as he fucking died, the other guy in the band was like trying to collect royalties for the fucking Amen break, and pretty much the entire like music production universe just like side-eyed him. It was just like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You're talking you versus entire like cultures here. You're talking you against like all of hip hop, all of drum and bass, all of jungle, all of rave, all like all of breaks. Just like you can't fight this anymore. This this is public domain, whether you want it to be or not. And it's still not. The almond break still is not public domain, of course. But it's just treated as such because it's that culturally ingrained. And other breakbeats are the same way, like the Think break, the Apache break, you know, all that stuff. It all winds up that way. Just because what are they going to do? Go after everybody? Fuck no. Honestly, regarding like sampling like films and stuff like that, that stuff's also just like, honestly, fucking go for it. That's extremely transformative when you're taking like a quote from a film and putting it in something, but like, the long and short of it is that like, if you don't have some kind of like decent to large footprint, like they aren't gonna fuck with you. It's not worth their time. It's not worth their money. They deemed me worth their time and money, which was very wrong of them because it wasn't. I stretched that out for so fucking long that their legal guys that were like communicating with me must have cost so much money. I dragged that shit out because I knew it was costing them. And you know what the best part is? You can drag that shit out because they're legally obligated. They're fucking. They have to play by the rules. I don't know. But yeah, that's yeah, peace. That's why I'm just like, could we please all create an open culture and stop hoarding our creations? Like, what? I understand making something and it being important to you, but like people doing things to it doesn't change it. It is still there. Like you could never be aware of all the ways people change what you do. Something I pose to people is like, okay, so like say you meet somebody and they like really look up to you and they like think you're the coolest person, right? And you know, whether you like it or not, they're going to take parts of you and they're going to use that to help themselves grow and explore and understand themselves and the world around them. Like that happens. We are always and constantly stealing from each other and you know, uh building on each other's presences and ideas and expressions. Like you don't live in a vacuum where if you make something, it's yours. If you make something, it's the collective of everything that has been up to that point in your life. It's not yours. It's a collective of things that have, happened and passed through your brain. It's not yours. It is as much the things that it was before as it is now. I don't think it's fair to say, oh yeah, this is like just strictly mine. That's silly. It's the world's, the universe's. I don't know. Here, let's see if I can Oh, this is perfect. Okay, so like here's a little ball physics simulator, okay? This is why it's stupid to claim that something is strictly yours. Okay, so like you can see balls are like appearing and falling, right? Trust me, we're going somewhere with this. So here's the idea. People like to think that they are like the brain responsible, like the intelligence responsible for creating something. And like if you want to think that, sure, but okay, so let's say I drop a ball like right up here, like right directly above it, okay? So like if I drop a ball here, is it gonna fall to the left or the right after it hits that? Okay, it fell to the left. You know? So the idea is this. That ball fell to the left not because of where I dropped it, but because of other pre-existing conditions as well. Creativity works the same way. You don't just create something. What you create can only exist through a long series of pre-existing conditions that are like logic gates, which is like the same thing that's happening here. Like, which way is a ball going to fall if I drop it on this one? Sure, pre-existing condition, but it's not like the ball, okay, does not fucking decide it's going to the left. It's a pre-existing condition that makes it go to the left. And creativity is the same way. You don't sit down and, whether you think so or not, you don't sit down and consciously decide, well, what am I going to do with this piece? It's a bunch of pre-existing conditions that make you do something with a piece, even if you're thinking about it. And are you really going to take credit for all of those pre-existing conditions? All those stupid gates that have been built into your brain? I think that's a foolish thing to do. I think it's silly to want to take credit for everything, you know, that filters through your brain. That's outrageous. You're a meat machine. You're a fucking meat machine. And the logic gates put out this thing. Good for you. Culture did it. You didn't do it. And that's why we need open culture. Anyways. Point is, you never make anything. Culture keeps making things. You've never made anything. I've never made anything. And it's best to think of it that way. In my opinion. There's only one rule, I think, like one golden rule, which is like never punch down. Never punch down. Punching down being like, you know, actively taking credit for something that was smaller than you somehow. Like when Disney ripped off Anamanaguchi, they were punching down. That's punching down. Punching up is when we take something from Disney because they own the culture. It's ours to use. Punching down is when the person that owns all the culture absorbs more of it to claim ownership of. So never punch down. Never punch down. Always punch up. Because the more you punch up, the more culture belongs to you. Or, well, I mean, it belongs to, like, us, belongs back to culture. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Exactly what you said. The human brain literally can't imagine anything it hasn't experienced. Everything is a synthesis of the things that have come before it. It's just in some quote unquote new, garbled way, care of these silly logic gates that we've all built up slightly differently. So I think it's really wonderful to say that, like, we have this, shared cultural language, this shared consciousness. Because, I mean, realistically, we do. If you want to be completely realistic here, we do have some sense of a shared consciousness. That's what culture is. It is this amorphous blob that shapes us. And that amorphous blob is a consciousness. You know, things keep feeding into and out of it. And I think that's pretty dope. I think that's pretty excellent. And through that shared consciousness, like, let's say the culture is the shared brain, right? Like, we are the logic gates. Each one of us is the logic gates that filter things down certain, paths to other people, to other places. And I think that's amazing. Like, that's amazing. That, the global, that human culture is like this giant brain. And we're all just like the parts that say, like, no, go this way, go that way, whatever, do this, do that. Just it's like an exact replica of what goes on inside our own brains. That's really cool. I mean, but that's also just how everything ever works. So everything is everything is everything is everything. The human superorganism. I love it so much. Well, I like not even just the human superorganism, like, because realistically you can extrapolate it to be like the universal superorganism because it all works the same way. It's amazing. It's really amazing that everything works the same way. That culture seems to work the same way that, like, you know, electricity does, that, various, you know, branches of physics do. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I love that humanity is a reflection of the things that make us up on a fundamental level. I think that's astonishing, like, really mind blowing. That's the kind of thing that we've gone full existential now, but that's the kind of thing that makes me feel like, the fact that we are a reflection of the way that we are built, that makes me feel like that we, or the universe, whatever it is simply trying to understand itself. And I think that's really neat. That's really cool. If I can help the universe understand itself, that's dope. I'd like to do that. I mean, we're all little universes, one sense or another. and we're all struggling to understand ourselves and the universe that we live in. So I like the idea that that's just recurring, and the universe is just like freaking out, trying to understand itself. And it's like everything is everything is everything is everything and everything. I just think it's hilarious. It's fun. But it's realistic. It's weirdly realistic. It just makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, it's like the kind of thing that at one point that definitely made so much sense to me, where I was just like, yeah, that's my faith, I guess. That like the universe is like its own kind of, or that the only godliness is the universe. I dig that. And I also just dig the idea of the universe being this like self-conscious, self-doubting, not contrarian. What is it called when? Oh, the words. I got that Presque-vous right now. Aw, damn it. I like the universe as a contradiction. That it is trying to understand itself, and it's impossible to understand oneself fully because you need external realization to do that. So I like that. I think that's a fun idea too. In regards to that idea, the universe being like a contradiction, or that the universe is like the only godliness is the universe. Um, Something I thought about like a long time ago that I really still enjoy the thought of. Um, I don't know if anybody here is like into like, you know, religious writings or anything like that, or just like picking them apart and like appropriating them to mean things that they may not have meant, but also weirdly intrinsically meant, but deconstructing religious writings. One of my favorite ideas is the like God made man is in his own image. And it's like, isn't that the most perfect, like, universe trying to understand itself moment? That the universe is like, just like, this is me. I will make this thing that is like me so I can understand me. But the greatest part of that is like, since the universe makes us in its own image, it also imbues its sense of self-doubt and inability to self-realize and self-actualize. So now we're doing it too. It's like, thanks, universe. In creating us in your own image, you have given us this horrible ability to look inwards and learn nothing. So now we have to do it too. Thanks. And that thing where we do it too, we're doing that by by learning about the universe, by you know by theorizing, and by eventually maybe creating a simulation of the universe and being like, oh yes, there's us. Oh, but now they have to do it too. And so on and so forth. And it's just the most comical thing to me. It's so funny. And such a good, it's very down to earth. Because if the universe didn't have to create its own image, it would have just known. And that means it would have never been critical of itself once. And that's usually not a good thing. And my absolute favorite thing, going back to the more direct, just like God made man in his own image idea. It was years and years ago. An old a Christian friend. He's not Christian anymore. He's more just like agnostic now. But I posed the question. If that's the case, so like, then God's like a terrible person, right? I mean, just all the things we're capable of, and all of our imperfections and our doubts and our worries and our anger and our hatreds. It's like, so God was like terrible, is what you're saying. Like what you're saying is God was also an imperfect motherfucker, just like every one of us. And that's pretty fantastic. Because you better believe he was. You ever read those fucking books? But the other best part of I like this like glitch in the system idea where it's like, hey God, about when you did that, when you made like man in your own image, you there was a little oversight there where you also made all of us God and able to make things. just just putting it out there that you forgot to comment that part of the code out, and now we're all God too. So like, thanks, but you know, we'll keep an eye on that next time. It's like if you tried to make a clone of yourself to like help you do chores around the house, but you accidentally like gave it all of your other good qualities too. It's just like, oh no, fuck. Anyways, that's my thoughts. My thoughts on why the universe is God, and why the universe has no clue what it fucking is and is really desperate to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. I don't think, I mean, I don't think God, made things out of thin air either, like so to speak, in the writings. It all came from somewhere. The energy always comes from somewhere, and we're the same way. You know, Elon Musk is an absolute nincompoop most of the time. brilliant nincompoop, but I'm down with the simulation theory because I mean that's what the universe is doing with us, I guess. I'm just so excited for the day that we create a simulation of the universe, and then we get to watch how its inhabitants create a simulation of the universe, and how its inhabitants create a simulation of the universe. You get it. What a world. What a fucking world. It's funny at least. No, construction's really going at it next door. So like I'm just in full like not doing anything and chatting mode now, just so everybody knows. I'm for the time being, I'm taking a break from these games. There we go. Stay up all day. Um let's see here. Yeah, speaking of Musk, I have this one sample. I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it because it's such a downer sample. It was from this interview he was doing where he's totally run ragged, and I so need to use this fucking clip for something. Let's see here. Oh, that can go away now. Um, oh, where's my capture? God damn it! Why does my main friggin' hold on? Oh, that looks wrong. Come on. Come on. Where's my friggin' I don't know why OBS is doing this, but like it keeps eating my display capture. Yeah, I don't know what the big deal is. Eh, 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 eh. Hold on a friggin' second. Just give me a second.